Rotary Club of Park Cities. I'm past President Richard Stanford, sitting in for President Jeff McNaughton. And for those who are visiting, we are the most fun club in District 5810. So stand up, mix for a few minutes, say hi to everybody, and I'll call us back together in just a few minutes.
I got the happy bugs and announcing guests. Yep, there it is. Good to go.
That and guests will do the questions at the end.
He actually said he can do that.
Is he going to do that?
Give him something to do anyway. So Jeff's still out.
Yeah, with his mother's death, I don't know how much. And I don't know whether they ended up going on vacation again.
Lots of stuff going on.
What an awful confluence of things.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And Fred may know something about that. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll be around.
That is true. You've noticed. But no, there a lot of them. Yeah. Okay. All right. A happy group. I can tell everybody's having fun. So, past President Fred Brown is going to bring us the invocation and lead us in the pledge and the national anthem.
Good morning, everyone. Before we do the invocation, are there concerns that we need to bring up to the group this morning? Anything? Happy? You bet. You bet. It sure will.
Fred, I have one of our pastors at our church shared with the congregation on, I guess, this past Sunday. I wasn't there, but he said that his wife, he's a young guy, his wife too, but shared that his wife has been diagnosed with type of cancer. And so they hope they caught it early. They believe it's not one of the most problematic
Okay.
of this type. But anyway, young family, and so just hope that they are in the best possible care.
Several of us go to that same church, and we'll keep those people in our prayers. So thank you for sharing that, Jeff. Are there any other concerns? If not, let's bow our heads and go to the word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the food that is before us and for the many blessings you've given us. We thank you for the privilege of belonging to this organization of Rotary, for the fellowship and support from our friends that are here today, for the opportunity to share ideas, but mostly for the opportunity to serve. Dear God, we appreciate how blessed we truly are with more than simply the necessities of life, with prosperity, with family, with friendships. As we enjoy the support within the family of Rotary, help us to reach out to those families less fortunate than us within our own community and around the world. As we appreciate our health, give us the means through our work with Rotary to help cure the ills of the world. As we enjoy this meal today, inspire us to work to rid the world of hunger. Inspire us to serve so that there are many truly be with peace and understanding through the world. It is in your name we pray. Amen. And now, if you'd put your right hand over your heart and do the pledge with me, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated.
All right, we've done our concerns. Now it's time to talk about our joys. It is Happy Bucks time. So if you want to donate some Happy Bucks and announce your joys, Scott will be with you. Anybody?
Any
Happy
takers?
Bucks.
Happy time. Mark Neese.
So I'm paying for a shameless plug for my son's band. They are playing next Friday night at White Rock Ale House in Lakewood. So if you want to come see a great, like, modern progressive band, come see them.
Woohoo. Sounds great. Bob Patton.
Happy.
Yeah, I want to thank our speaker and his organization. The predecessor was the Texas Turnpike Authority. They hired the engineering company I was working for in Kansas City in 1965 and brought my young wife and family here. And when we finished the tollway and built it in '68, our next assignment was Virginia. We decided to stay here. But thank you for bringing us to Dallas. We loved it.
Thank you, Bob. We're glad to have you.
And hat.
Happy Franklin has Happy Bucks, the originator of Happy Bucks.
I'm really happy about having a work trip in Galveston this weekend.
All right.
Oh, thank you, Happy.
Jeff
Brady.
I've got one. My youngest son and I just got back from a trip out west to visit a couple of college campuses to consider, and we managed to squeeze in a visit to Disneyland as well. So,
Wonderful.
Anybody
else?
Any others?
Going
Okay,
once,
well,
going
thank you
twice.
for your donations.
Thank you.
Now it's time to stand up and recognize your guests. So our guests, please stand. Larry.
Karen Ferris.
It is my pleasure to introduce somebody that probably doesn't need introducing. It is past District Governor Larry Webb, who manages the District Grant Program, which is you'll hear a little bit more about a little bit later.
Thank you, Karen.
Yes. Any others?
That's
okay.
it.
Okay, well, thanks. Mark Kasher, we're going to have our marketplace advertiser, Happy.
Yes, our advertiser, our spotlight today is Happy Lane Franklin. The incredible Happy Franklin. She is well known for her leadership and her energy for her Galveston trip and everything else. Remarkable ability to bring people together, which I have experienced. Today, we definitely want to shine a spotlight on her contributions through Securities America and Navigation Financial Group. Happy's been a dedicated financial advisor and Rotarian since 2001. 2009, she had the honor of being the charter president of the Rotary Club of Dallas Uptown. She holds a business degree in the Did You Know category. She also has a law degree from Texas Tech University, showcasing her commitment to continuous learning and professional development. She finds joy in working closely with individuals, families, and business owners, offering her expertise and guidance. She's got clients across Texas and multiple states, and a testament to the trust and impact she's built with her clients. She's got 4 designations to her name, and she's well equipped to address her clients' various financial needs, including investment planning, financial planning, educational planning, life insurance, long-term care insurance, and she loves talking about 1031 real estate strategies, so be sure to ask her about that. As an active member of her community, Happy also enjoys hosting monthly lunch networking group, which is a lot of fun, so be sure to go to that, and a bi-monthly seminar series. She provides valuable opportunities for her connections and knowledge sharing. And additionally, she proudly serves as a sustainer in the Junior League of Dallas, further demonstrating her commitment to making a positive difference in the lives of others. So let's express our sincere appreciation for Happy, for her unwavering support of Rotary, and being an inspiring force for us and an advertiser. Thanks, Happy.
Now, we have in our midst Scott Denny. Scott, come on up here. You know, Scott's the manager here. And come on up. And all the redoing of this place and all that you do for us is so fabulous. And you may not know, but Scott also has Rotary in his family.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
and so Scott's, anyway, we appreciate, yeah, right. Yes. Okay, and that's a good, yes. So, anyway, it only seems appropriate that we thank Scott and recognize him, and also make him an honorary member of this club.
Oh, thank you.
So Scott, here's the certificate. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay, Jill. I think it's Jill's turn now.
Okay, we're getting close to the 4th of July. So we are still in need of volunteers, particularly standing marshals and walking marshals. And so if you know how to stand and if you know how to walk, you know, you're 2/3 of the way of getting there. And why is it so important this year? It's because Bank of America is not going to be helping us. So we have to have our normal number plus their 20 to 30 people. So I need y'all to sign up. Now, I mentioned you got to be able to stand, you got to be able to walk, but you also have to dress the part. So for today, I have brought a model with me to show you what it takes to be a standing or walking marshal. Where's my model? Model, Alan, come on, Alan. Why not? Come on, Alan, you got to come out here. There's nothing to be scared of. The Rotarians are nice people. You're okay. Come on. You know how to walk. You know how to stand. Now, come on. Show them how. Yeah. Well, yeah, you do. We practiced this before we came today, so you know how to walk. So come on in. Come on. There you go. Yay. Give him a hand. All right, that's a proud Rotarian walking in the parade. Yeah, so this is our model. You want to tell us about your outfit?
Yes. Are these the correct pants we're wearing?
Yes.
Well, they are. You can wear khaki pants, and if you don't have also wear long khaki pants.
That's true. You can wear both.
Now, is this the correct shirt?
That is the correct shirt.
We are not wearing any of the white Rotary shirts. We're not wearing any of the yellow. We're not even wearing the light blue Rotary shirts. We're wearing this shirt, correct?
That is correct.
Beer belly is off. Now, is this the right hat?
Actually, no. Sorry. I think you know.
Okay. Is this the right hat?
Yeah, you got to wear the right one. You can't wear your cowboy hat. There you go. All right, give them a hand for looking the part. Okay.
You gotta tell them where they can get this hat.
Oh, that is true. If you don't have this ensemble, this very nice ensemble, you see Kathleen back there? Wave your hand. Yay. She's got the goods for you. So if you need a hat, you need the shirt, she's got it. So, but you got to bring your own pants. So,
Limited supply and only while the supplies last.
that's correct. And Philip Bankhead, he's the one you sign up with, although if you can also always email Alan or me, and please sign up. We need more walkers. Thank you.
All right, it's time for past President Karen Farris to do a presentation.
Why do I always follow somebody like that? Right. Strutting days are over, trust me. You know, when we think of Rotary International Foundation, we really think of global grants, don't we? We think of polio, we think of water projects, we think of maybe some disaster recovery. But did you know that in the last Rotary year, Rotary International Foundation made $27 million worth of grants to 478 different districts. And that's money that flows back into our community. Our district, 5810, allocates the money based on a formula, based on how much we as a club contribute to Rotary International Foundation. And overseeing that effort is past District Governor Larry Webb. Larry, wave to everybody. He serves as the district grant chair, and it's a thankless job, trust me. He has to work with 62 different clubs, most of which don't know even how to process a grant, and he has to be sure that they follow Rotary International's protocols. So great job that you do, Larry, every year. So due to the generosity of the people in this club and Greg Pape's leadership, our club usually receives one of the largest allocations. And last year, it was $5,413.44. And it's a matching grant, which means that our club's foundation donated the same amount from our foundation. And the project that was selected last year by your board was the EQUEST Hoofs for Heroes program. How many of you were at the meeting in December out at EQUEST? Yeah, you heard a little bit about this then, and you saw part of the check presentation. Well, we just mailed, the district just mailed Christine the latest installment on that, the matching grant piece. And so we thought it'd be a great idea to have Christine come today and tell you a little bit about the project and what your money did. So Christine?
First of all, good afternoon, and thank you so much. I'm really thrilled to be here. I want to also let you know that your impact is incredible, and I can't bring those counseling clients who are veterans in here, nor can I show you exactly what that looks like. But I can tell you that we have just a very short little video clip for you to see the tone and the feeling of that kind of impact. So first of all, when they come out to EQUEST, as many of you know, it's a gorgeous environment that it just inspires people's resistance to getting help to really come down. Just by being out in nature and around animals, we know that to be a proven fact. The grant money served for a fall semester and a spring semester of 10 sessions for veterans groups that were referred to us by the VA hospital, women and men. And so that repeated in the spring. So it's not just the cost of the counselor, it's the cost of the counselor and the horse people and the horses and the facility and all of that that goes into making this possible, but not only possible, really having this magnificent impact of changing lives. So thank you so much for that, and we're going to just show you a little brief video clip of what this actually looks and feels like.
I am a veteran of the U.S. Navy. I served for 4 years active and 4 years in the reserves.
I served 23 years in the military. It is a constant battle for soldiers who've been to combat.
As civilians, we think we know what the 1% goes through, and we don't.
It took me about 5 years to actually readjust, and I'm still adjusting.
For any service member getting out, it doesn't matter how long you've been in, there's a way you talk and the way you send texts and acronyms in the military that don't translate into the private sector.
I didn't have a job at the moment. I had just moved here, no friends, nobody to connect with, and at the same time I was battling a very deep depression. I started going through the VA for treatment, and they mentioned that they had a wonderful group of veterans that met at EQUEST. I started talking to other veterans. We started talking about our experiences in the military. I discovered very quickly that this was not just my safe space, it was their safe space too.
It is important not only to support the 1% that serves, but to support the percent that supports them and is here while they're gone.
It's a calming effect of being on the horse and being in the arena.
We all leave our problems behind when we walk into this place. I felt very much at home. It's all about energy. Communication that I have learned from working with an animal that is thousands of pounds, like way bigger than me. They don't speak my language, but we speak energy. And that translates outside in the world.
Each of them have their own personality, and you got to learn that. And some of them are ornery, and some of them are real nice and gentle, just like people.
I want to tell any veteran out there that if they are in need of help, please reach out. We're here. We're here to help. Don't try to battle it alone. You don't have to.
like a living, breathing thing. It constantly has to be worked, upgraded, maintained, fixed, etc. So a quarter of our toll dollar goes into that. 56%, think of your mortgage payment, goes to debt service. Again, we borrowed $9.5 billion. We're in the process of repaying. That is with interest, believe it or not. And that's what that repayment goes to. 19% goes back into the roadway. Some of the capital expenditures I just showed you will be paid for by that portion of your toll dollar. So maintaining your assets, as I said, it's an ongoing thing. You think about back towards the seems like we have a yearly snowstorm now, ice storm that shuts things down for a week. That takes a lot of work, a lot of man hours to be out there 24/7, spreading materials that we have to bring in some cases as far away as Utah. It's a very costly thing, but we do it because safety is our priority, and especially at that time, safety is first and foremost. And I say that because we maintained a 365 operations center. You can see there the picture. It's almost like being in a large modern cinema with a wall full of cameras that can be apportioned. We monitor the roadway. We can zoom in for trouble spots, and that helps us get help to motorists as quickly as possible, and also try to anticipate where things are going to happen and get forces there. I ask you to put pound, or as the kids say, hashtag 999 in your phone in advance. That will summon free help if you're on an NTTA roadway. Just hit that. It connects you directly to that Safety Operations Center. And do it now so you're not in a stress situation. And it will have, I hope it never has to pay off for you. I hope you never have to use it. But if you do, we can get help there pretty quickly. And I don't know if anybody's ever had occasion to be worked with our folks there. But you can see the number of responses, almost 50,000 responses. We do about, my eyes are going, I think it's 16 plus minutes there. And we get debris calls too. I mean, that's something that helps us when people see debris, if they can call it in safely, you know, if you have a passenger or voice or whatever, or when you complete your trip, we can get to that debris and that won't cause further problems. So we're very, very, as I say, safety is our priority. It's what we do. It's what we focus on. Everything else comes second to safety of driving on the roadway. That's our red thumb band that we promote. It's a little reminder. It's a fun thing to put on your thumb, and it reminds you not to text and drive. It's more popular with kids, and they can sit in the back seat and tell mom and dad not to do that. I gave it to my then teenage daughter years ago, and she said, well, you can't really text with it. I don't get it. So maybe I didn't do a good job of explaining. It is a preventative measure. We have $20 and $40 toll tags, depends on your use. We're about to introduce a $10 toll tag entry point. That way you don't have to tie up much funding. That's for people who don't use the road often. We hear from people a lot, I don't need a toll tag, I don't get on the road. Well, just to have some on account to help you use it at its lowest rate. If you want to pay for them, we have a number of toll tags. I don't want to get into SMU, TCU. I'm a TCU guy for my daughter, again, but you know, everybody's got their own choice. Hopefully we'll have reason to buy Ranger ones later in the year, and we'll always be hopeful on the Cowboys, right? So one for everybody if you want to dress your car up. And when you do use your toll tag, important to know that you get toll perks, rewards for driving. The more you drive, you can go on and get little gift cards, gas cards, etc., whatever's unavailable. So you can go online and do that. So you've been very attentive and you've been wonderful. And I know this is where it can get dicey, so I throw the floor open to questions. Sir.
the southern portion going into Dallas, the pull-off tollway into 35.
Right.
I would say the line last night, for example, was probably a mile long. Has to be the largest source of accidents in the entire state. People jumping in. I know it's very difficult. The old joke was that the engineer who planned that, his punishment should be he has to drive it every night. But
Sir, did you want to answer that question?
we'll talk after. But how do you handle a situation like that where it's clearly an issue? It's been an issue for years. Obviously, 16% of your budget is allowed for capital improvements. How do you address something? How bad does the need have to be?
Yeah, I don't want to speak for the engineers, but I think it's a question of how it was originally designed, how it's built. I know that we're doing it just was before the last board meeting, I believe, of a kind of a system of a queuing system and an advisory, and try to help people caution ahead, slowing down and whatnot. But I hate to say it, but it is what it is because of even though they've just widened everything and changed everything through the Horseshoe Project downtown, it's our connection to it that is existing. And I don't know that we have an ability to widen that ramp because, okay, so you widen it and then it just pulls the bottleneck more closely to the merge point. Again, I don't know the engineering aspect of it, but it is something we work on and we try to work with and do everything we can to make it as safe as you can. So that's the best answer I have on that one. Yes, sir.
Why do you think only 50% of your users get toll tags?
Well, it's actually closer to 80% of our users have toll tags. In that case, I mean, you're right when you take the 14 million, but some of that's passed through traffic and whatnot. But as far as what we measure by toll tag penetration, the number of transactions that are paid for through toll tag, right around 80%. And then but you're right to do the math on that. And it's something that we always try to encourage folks to use a toll tag, because I'm cheap by nature, so I don't understand paying more for something than you have to. And it's the least expensive, most convenient way to do it. You don't have to go out to the mailbox and wait for bills. It's, again, the lowest rate. There's a premium associated with, I guess, having the convenience of just driving around and doing it pay by plate. But there's also a cost on our end to do that.
It seems to me that the toll road is very safe. In fact,
I agree.
It's surprisingly so. You've got all these people going 85, about 20 feet apart, and yet they don't wreck. I don't see how that works. But is there some objective criteria or assessment of how safe it is, and how is it compared to previous years? What's the trend line?
Well, again, the figures I had there kind of show our response times, and while we don't have control over drivers, we do enforcement. A lot of the DPS enforcement, and I saw this was answered a Park City's question to our DPS lieutenant earlier this year, and a lot of what you don't see is when there is DPS involvement, they move it off the roadway as often as possible. And that becomes a question of when if you get somebody pulled over on the roadway, then that creates a hazard all of its own with other free-flowing traffic. So we try to do it that way. We do enforce the speed limits. I know it doesn't seem that way. And then we deal with people who say, and they literally say this, I hear it on talk shows on occasion, I paid for it, so I should determine how fast I drive. So that is, I mean, that's a school of thought. I don't subscribe to it, and I'm saying it's not the case, but you understand how, human nature. So we try to make it as safe as possible. Sir,
I'm not admitting anything. I'm just asking. When you have a toll tag, I'm under the belief that I can go anywhere with that tag. So like when I go through Houston, I use it. And is it good in Oklahoma too?
That's correct. It is good anywhere in Texas, and that includes DFW Airport and Love Field. It includes the Texpress lanes I mentioned earlier. It's all toll roads in Oklahoma. It's Kansas, and now many parts of Florida. Unfortunately, not at the moment the Orlando area, but we're working on that. And North and South Carolina, perhaps early next year, maybe, we'll see. But you are correct. That toll tag will, anywhere that there's a toll situation, any toll road in Texas, you can use that, yeah.
You mentioned that with all the explosion of growth in the towns becoming cities north of us, is the toll road, do you foresee it going up to the Red River?
No, I think that too is a common myth, but why not? I mean, we keep growing, and that's where the growth is at the moment. But right now, it is scheduled to go right to the Grayson County line. I can't speak for Grayson County. I don't work for them, but I know that they have created their own toll road authority, and I think they're working on something that will sweep out of Sherman Denison and kind of curve around, and at some future date connect to us. I don't know when that'll be viable, but we will extend it in 2 segments over the coming decade and a half, I suppose, that will go to the Grayson County line. So, yeah.
You mentioned Texas, Oklahoma, all these other places. I guess just to follow up on that, I have a kid that lives up in Connecticut. It costs you $20 to drive half a mile up there. But just wonder, is there any down the road thought about, you know, having a tag that would work on any toll situation around the country?
There definitely is, and I know that everybody, including the federal government, would like to see that happen, and I can only say that it seems like it'd be so easy to do, but the connection of systems, the complexity, you have to keep, you know, we operate under the payment card rules and exchanging information. It's an extraordinarily complex situation that you have to, you know from Connecticut, the Easy Pass system kind of works very well on much of the East Coast. We would hope to do something like that, but then again, it's immense complexity. We're working on it. We're going in, right now making agreements state by state where we think it will most benefit our drivers, where you're most likely to drive, and then kind of working outward.
Well, Jeff was saying something about smart highways.
Yeah, we were just kind of having a what's the future going to look like talk, and I mean, you already see somewhat of it. He had mentioned renting a Tesla, and the amount of technology that's going into cars. It's something we're studying, we're watching, and we're involved in various study groups. You know, as a smart highway system that we have now, I think we're well positioned to do that. But at some point, cars will be talking to each other directly, and I foresee an increase in safety as well. When that happens, and again, that's much like what we talked about as far as interoperability of toll tags. I think with the amount of fiber that we have, the electronics we have on our roadway, the monitoring systems, I think we'll be in good shape, and we're always trying to work on notifications in car. We're working on the wrong-way driver problem is something that we all know about, and we work on. We're, again, in groups across the U.S., but we're kind of dipping our toe in the water about sending messages not only on the overhead signs directly that we operate from that safety center I showed you, but also sending a message directly in a car, and you would geofence it based on your phone as far as if you're in an affected area. But I mean, listen to me talk about it. It's great complexity. It's way over my head, but I know we're working towards it.
Hey, Michael, one over here. So this is a softball for you. You need to take an opportunity to clear up what may be the greatest misconception about the NTTA and the tollway. What was the connection with Spain? Didn't Spain put the money up to begin with? And there's people like you mentioned earlier who still think we're paying Spain every time we go up and down the tollway. Yeah. What's the truth about that?
And I think it's when we were reporters. You recall in the mid-2000s, what was 121 essentially through Collin Denton County from the airport essentially to McKinney, what we now call the Sam Rayburn Tollway. That was kind of in play. TxDOT first built that as a toll road, and then they decided they wanted to divest. So there were, in essence, bidders, and Sintra, Ferrovial out of Spain, was one of the bidders, and that was a contested fight, and it was covered on a daily basis. I remember back then thinking, what's the difference? So I understand when people think that, because a lot of it goes back towards that, a lot of the dialogue at that day, and that's, you know, that's all well and good, but we just want to say what we are. We're a Texas government institution, organization, and we're beholden to our state government, not to governments from any other country. Again, the whole reason NTTA is in existence is to keep the toll money in North Texas for improvements and the ability to get around North Texas. So Spain did not pay for it, no. But that was initially, that was kind of the back and forth at that time. Who was going to end up? We paid $3.2 billion for the right to operate the toll road and the Sam Rayburn Tollway. So yeah, but that's where all the misconception comes in. I mean, I think of before I did this, and it's like, I just trying to get to work, man. I don't have time to know who's doing what or who's who or what have you. So I understand, sir.
Okay, why can't you build a toll road to Austin?
Well, again, we don't decide where the roads go. We just build them where they ask us to. And 35, you know, just as a driver making that trip, I think they've finally got it out of downtown going pretty well. I know there's other parts, but no, that's, we kind of we can't bite off more than we can chew.
There's one over here.
So listening to this and recollecting, is Texpress, are they funded by the Spanish? I know the Spanish have done something sometime in the more recent, but I'm thinking of these lanes under LBJ. Wasn't that foreign investment?
I would point you to the Texpress people, but yeah, in that case, that's a consortium called Sintra, and I believe that there is a ferrovial Spanish component in that. So, but again, they bid the project like anybody else. We, as a toll road operator in North Texas, we have the right of first refusal on any project, and it didn't pencil out for that. So that's the way they went. I mean, I don't want to be casting aspersions. We all have to play together. We all work together. But as far as the NTTA, that's how we are. How am I doing? Okay.
Right. And I think that's our last question.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Michael Ray. Michael, a book is being placed in your honor in McShann Elementary School. As our thanks to you for speaking to us today.
Is it titled "How to Draw Your Friend's Ticket"?
Right. You did well. Yes. Okay. Do we need a picture before you leave? Yeah. Yeah, I think we do. Thanks. And remember, pay your dues now. And remember, in fact, do it right now on the QR code, but if you don't, do it by Monday for next week for OZONA, because you don't want to miss the awards and installation banquet. So that all being said, Happy Franklin is going to lead us in the four-way test.
Join me in reciting the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?